Hey food friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be using some ground beef and dried black beans to make this delicious Chipotle beef, black bean, and corn chili that can be served up as a great filling for tacos and also for making lettuce boats in this hot summer weather. I'll be using 1.5 cups of dried black beans, and these don't need soaking, they will cook in 45 minutes. I'm also using 1 pound of lean ground beef. Here I have 1 large frozen bell pepper combined with 1 large onion chopped, and this is a great way when you get things on sale to combine these 2 ingredients in your freezer and they'll be ready to go for any recipe. I'll be using an array of spices including cumin, crushed red chili flakes, and also a little bit of chili powder. I will also be adding some paprika and oregano, and this is dried oregano. I love when it comes on the stems like this because it's just so much more flavorful. I'll be using some chipotle paste to give this a really great smoky flavor, and also a bit of tomato paste. I do like to use garlic powder to also season my food generously because it just adds great flavor. And I will also be using a can of corn. You can use any type you have. In a hot skillet on medium-high, add a little bit of olive oil. And then I'm just going to break my meat apart with my hand, but you can put the whole pound of meat in here and just break it apart with a utensil of your choice. Once all your meat is in the pan, you can let it cook for a couple minutes and then start breaking it apart further into small pieces. Once your meat is browned and has cooked for about 5 minutes, you can take a masher and start mashing this so it becomes nice and fine. Add your pepper and onion, and of course you can use fresh green pepper and onion. Because this will be cooking for a good 45 minutes with the beans, it doesn't matter that it's frozen. It will soften up and melt away into the dish. Time to add the seasonings, and I'm very generous with my seasoning. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 tablespoon of paprika. I'll also be adding a heaping tablespoon of chili flakes, but you can use less if you'd like, or leave it out of the recipe if you don't want it to be spicy. And then I added half a teaspoon of my dried oregano. The reason my pan is so smoky is because it is scorching hot outside and I had to have my AC blasting on me while I was cooking, and it's just swooshing the steam around. Add a little bit of water now, and then we're going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and also I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of the chipotle paste to give this a nice complex flavor and just enhance this flavor profile to a next level. It smells incredible in here, and well-seasoned food is so good to have because none of it will get wasted, none of it's going to be bland. This on its own would be great over rice or make a great taco filling, but I'm going to add my 1.5 cup of dried black beans to stretch this further and make a larger quantity of food without spending too much on meat. Add 1.5 liter of water. Give it a little taste, and then you can add some salt to season it, but don't add too much salt at this point because I am making this into a drier version so that liquid will reduce. Once everything's boiling, cover and cook for a good 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, you can see some of the liquids have reduced and our beans are starting to cook really nicely. In my fridge, I had a tiny bit of fresh salsa left over, and this is a no-waste cooking channel, so I just wanted to add it in there and then just cover it and cook it for another 20 minutes. This won't affect the flavor much because the spices are what you're really going to taste when you cook this. If you had a tablespoon of salsa to add, you could go ahead and add that. I added a cup of water and my corn, and I'm just going to let this cook for another 10 minutes until the liquid has absorbed. Now I'm just doing a test to make sure my beans are done and fully cooked and they're nice and creamy. I also want to do a taste test to see if I need to add any salt, and this is perfectly flavored and you can really taste all the spices. So we can just turn the heat off and let this rest for a bit. I purposely made this recipe as a dry version. You could of course have more liquid in here if you'd like and just adjust the salt, but I do plan to use this recipe in many different ways, and that's why I kept it dry like this. The first way I'm going to serve this is as is. Just sprinkle some chopped chives or green onions or cilantro, whatever greenage you have. Not necessary, I'm just doing this for the video. Serve this up with a few corn tortillas, and this is a complete meal full of protein, and the beans and the beef just have a nice, great beefy flavor, and the corn adds a tad bit of sweetness. This can also be used as a taco filling, and here's a cool tip. You could chop up a couple corn tortillas and dice it really finely and mix it into your mixture, and it's going to add extra flavor and stretch this dish even further. As it's summer, it's really hot here, so taco boats are really great using some crisp romaine lettuce hearts. Give this recipe a try and go feed yourself. Thanks for watching.